Welcome back to The Explainer. Okay, picture this, because you probably know the feeling exactly. You've just downloaded a shiny, brand new budgeting app. It's sleek, it's beautifully organized, and it promises to finally, once and for all, whip your finances into shape. You get this sudden rush of motivation, right? You're totally ready to conquer your financial goals. But, as we're going to explore today, that exciting first step is very often just the beginning of an incredibly predictable trap. So, that brings us to the central mystery of today's Explainer. Why do these budgeting apps actually fail? How is it that a tool explicitly designed to give you ultimate financial control so often ends up making you feel incredibly frustrated and honestly even worse about your money than before you even downloaded it? Well, let's look at the cycle. Day one, you connect your bank accounts. You're meticulously categorizing every single expense from the last month. And man, the app gives you this massive dopamine hit. Your brain looks at that clean, beautiful interface and says, okay, this is it. I'm finally in control. You feel incredibly productive just by organizing the data. You are riding super high on this wave of perceived financial responsibility.
But then, we hit the inevitable reality. A week later, you stop opening it. A month later, it's just another forgotten icon on your phone screen taking up storage space. Your real-world habits, they remain completely unchanged, and your actual money situation hasn't improved one bit. The app is just totally ignored.
All right, let's dive right into Section 1, the illusion of control, a false sense of progress.
So these apps sell us on a massive promise that clarity leads to control. The idea is, if you just know exactly where your money is going, you can fix it. But here is the hard truth. Tracking is absolutely not managing. It's literally just observing. These apps are passive witnesses to your behavior, not active drivers of change. You're basically just watching yourself overspend in high definition.
Honestly, think of it like stepping on a weighing scale every single day without ever actually changing your diet. You can look at the number on that scale all you want. You can record it, you can graph it, you can color code the spreadsheet, but seeing the number changes absolutely nothing if your underlying daily habits remain exactly the same.
And that leads us to a really sneaky psychological trap, false progress. Interacting with a beautiful, clean user interface completely tricks your brain into feeling productive. You're categorizing expenses, reviewing charts, checking daily spending, and you feel like you're really doing the work. But you're just getting the feeling of improvement without any actual results. It keeps you stuck in an illusion, while your real-world spending continues exactly as it did before.
Moving on to Section 2, the psychology of overspending. Let's look at what actually happens when our discipline fails.
Okay, let's set up a super relatable scenario. Say you decide to be really responsible, so you set a strict, modest monthly budget for eating out. Let's say it's 2,000 rupees for the month. You punch it right into the app, you're feeling disciplined, and you are ready to conquer those cravings. But, well, life happens, right? It's barely the first week, and you've already spent 1,500 rupees. Instantly, your phone buzzes. The app flashes this bright, glaring red restriction warning right at you, and immediately you're hit with friction, guilt, and stress. Money suddenly feels like this suffocating set of tight rules, limits, and constant overbearing monitoring.
So how does the human brain handle that intense pressure? Honestly, it rebels. Instead of calmly adjusting your spending for the next 3 weeks, your brain simply says, well, I've already messed up. Might as well enjoy the rest of the month. You completely reject the pressure, toss the budget out the window, and you likely end up overspending even more than if you hadn't tracked a single thing.
Now, this reaction actually has a formal name in psychology. It's called the what the hell effect. It's when one small mistake turns into a full-blown breakdown, because strict tracking creates this rigid, all-or-nothing thinking. And I want to make something crystal clear here. This is not your discipline failing. Actually, scratch that. It's not a failure at all. This is simply human psychology reacting entirely naturally to rigid constraints.
Which brings us to Section 3. Money is mostly behavior. Because, spoiler alert, it's really not just math. Take a look at this comparison. Budgeting apps are basically stuck in the past. They point a finger and say, hey, look at what you did wrong. They trap you in past regret. But true wealth building, that requires making actionable decisions about the future. It's about asking, okay, what should I do next? One mindset creates guilt and total paralysis, while the other creates action and momentum. Because what really drives your financial life, it's your habits, your emotions, your identity, and the decisions you make under pressure. A digital tool that just crunches numbers and throws red alerts at your face will never, ever fix those deep underlying human drivers. It's simply the wrong tool for the job.
And on top of that, these apps demand constant attention, daily manual categorization, continuous tracking. That is pure friction, and friction kills consistency. Plus, there's a huge identity conflict here. Most people simply don't want to be someone who tracks every single rupee. It feels suffocating. So subconsciously, you just reject the whole system, which guarantees you'll eventually drop it.
All right, so what do we do about it? Let's get to Section 4, the automated solution. Let's simplify your money. Here is the ultimate behavioral system broken down into 4 pretty straightforward steps. Step 1, and this is absolutely crucial, automate. You need to remove manual decision-making entirely. Set up automatic savings and investments that trigger before you even see the money hit your checking account. Because think about it, if you don't have to consciously decide to save, you can't decide not to save. Step 2 is to simplify. Look, instead of micromanaging 50 different tiny categories on a little phone screen, you really only need to manage 3 key slices: your overall income, your fixed expenses, and your savings rate. If those fixed expenses are covered and your savings rate is on autopilot, the rest of the day-to-day details, they just don't matter nearly as much.
Steps 3 and 4? It's all about designing your environment and allowing for some real flexibility. Stop creating these rigid, down-to-the-penny budgets. Give yourself flexible ranges instead. Keep your money in separate accounts so you don't have easy access to your savings. By removing the daily temptations and using ranges instead of hard rules, you completely diffuse that subconscious urge to rebel.
I love this quote because it hits the nail right on the head. The best system is not the most detailed one. It's the one you actually stick with. You do not need perfect tracking, folks. You just need consistent direction. A massive, complex spreadsheet that you abandon after 4 days is infinitely worse than a simple, automated system that just runs quietly in the background for a decade.
So, to sum the whole shebang up, if you failed at budgeting apps in the past, it does not mean you're inherently bad with money. Not at all. It just means you were trying to solve a behavioral problem with a math tool. Real progress comes from designing your life and automating your environment, so you don't have to constantly babysit your money.
I'm going to leave you with this one question to ponder. Look at your current setup and really ask yourself, is your financial system easy enough to follow, even on a terribly bad day? Because if it requires you to be perfectly disciplined, highly energized, and constantly glued to monitoring your phone, it is absolutely bound to break. Empower yourself to ditch that manual tracking trap and go build an automated life instead. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.